Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of the KDigitals podcast where we dive into artists, their origin, their style, and their process. Joining me today is Zeke Kitchen. How you doing today, Zeke?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, man. It's getting cold in San Diego. It's a lot more colder than
I've definitely adapted to this. Well, I'm from the East Coast originally,
okay.
and I know my first year or so out here, I was like, man, it's crazy. Look, everyone's wearing their winter jackets right now. I'm like, back home, I'd be wearing shorts.
Yeah.
And then now, I have a pair of sweatpants and a sweatshirt on, so I'm used to the weather here now.
Yeah, you adapted to it. Cause it's weird, cause I heard the joke of when you're in San Diego, in the morning it's winter, by almost 12 o'clock it's fall, and then by 1 it's summer, right? And you have the cycle going the whole time.
Also, I'm layered up just like a crackhead right now. You got to be ready for this. That sun comes back out, man.
Yeah, you got to layer with it, layer on, layer off. Well, hey Zeke, for every podcast, before I always dive into it, I always ask the guests to kind of define themselves as an artist, right? And especially with you, you do a lot more. I thought you were a photographer, but you do way more than just that. But how do you see yourself?
I guess just as a creative who likes working, I guess I like to express myself through the lens of a camera, whether that's through photos or through video. I primarily I don't know, I really love both, because people I've had that question before, which one do you like better? And I don't know. It's hard to call myself either a photographer or videographer, so I just like to go with creative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, especially nowadays, because if you're one or the other, you usually are asked to do more than just that, so it just becomes natural, right? Do you have a preference for what you like to do? When you're taking on projects, I'd rather do a video than a photo shoot, or vice versa?
Personally, as of now, I would say more in the video route. I don't know. I really like how video works, from obviously planning everything, and then also then to getting to piece everything together. So I feel like editing is probably one of my favorite parts, I guess, about video production in general, because you get to really piece the story together. You essentially get to make something that is not really there. You make something out of nothing, so.
How do you do a lot of music videos? How do you approach it? Because all it seems especially in the rap, right? Especially in the San Diego scene, a lot of it just be the same, but how do you keep it fresh with every different video?
And that also kind of, I guess, plays off of the vibe of the artist, right? Maybe necessarily what the track itself is about. I personally, I like to use humor, so I like to add just goofy things in there, because it's just little things like that help people remember the video. It makes the video stand out. Even if it's just a couple seconds, people are gonna remember that couple seconds because it was weird or it was funny. I like the shock. I like to add a little bit of that, just what the hell did I just watch factor to things, kind of. Especially for some of the artists I've worked with, like Raph Martin. One music video we did was called No Peddling, and we shot that out in Borrego Springs. And that one we have we paid homage to Space Jam, Happy Gilmore, and Castaway. All actually kind of, the Castaway was planned. The other two ended up just kind of falling in our lap. We doing weird, goofy shit. But yeah, that's why I think I guess comedy and sex sells. But I'm not a very sexy looking person, so I only got comedy.
Yeah, you could kind of pick up on that though. Even in the photos you posted, I think the one thing I noticed your work is it's just relaxed, but happy relaxed, right? In all your photos, it looks fun. Looks like the shoot wasn't too stressful. Everyone's just having a good time, which I kind of picked up on all the different looks you have.
Well, and I feel like it's a big part too of working with other people. I want people to have fun. I want it to be not just shit, I'm showing up, I got to do this photo shoot. I want people to look forward to it, and also really enjoy their time while they're there too. I just feel why not? And I love my job too, so I feel when you do something that you really enjoy doing,
Mhm.
it's easy to like, I guess, kind of just spread that out, just to make it, I don't know, make other people have fun too while you're doing it. Just, and even when shit is not going as planned,
Yeah.
that's the other key secret is just ride that wave and at least pretend like everything's going fantastic, even when it's not.
Mhm.
Just power through it.
How long did it take you to kind of get to that, like, I can hold my composure kind of thing, like on a stressful shoot? Where have you always had that? Like, do you have any scar tissue of like, oh, there's times where I let it get to me and it showed?
uh, I mean, more for me, it probably happens after the shoot. I try to like during the shoot, I try to I'll like keep my shit together. But sometimes I like say like I didn't really like what I did with one take or something.
Mhm.
I'm also very self. I feel like everybody is, but I'm very critical of the stuff that I put out and do.
Mhm.
So sometimes, yeah, I mean, afterwards, I'm like, damn it, I knew I should have done that differently. But it's typically on shoots, though. I don't know. I try to. I think it's always worked best to just just run with the punches. Don't lie. Sometimes that's just life. Shit's gonna happen. But I think if you can learn to roll with it, that's when things start kind of opening up.
Mhm.
You might see a way, like I don't know, because sometimes like I feel like when it's just one person looking at a project too, it's kind of you you miss some things. So like when you have these problems come up, it gives you that opportunity to also then look at things in a different perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. So how much do you like plan for shoots or like just projects? Like, do you spend a lot of time planning, or do you like to let it kind of jazz it up while you're there on set?
I I usually I like to go in with like some sort of skeleton at least. I don't need a like this is the plan and this needs to be exactly done. I like to at least make sure I'm like we're gonna get what we need to build the story. But
Mhm.
that's the other thing too, because I feel like once you're on set and once you're working with other creative people, you're always gonna think of something different that like shit that's good. That actually might look cool. But like maybe like sitting behind your keyboard when you're just trying to put it down on paper, that idea didn't come to you then. Sometimes those
Mm.
little ideas come to you in the moment while you're actually creating. But I typically I do like to at least have some sort of like pre-production plan going into it just to make sure we're on track.
Yeah, that I think that's yeah, it's important, right? I think like I found like when you there, I don't know if you could actually plan too much, but there are times where like I feel if I plan too much and it doesn't go according to plan, I'm like, this is not what's supposed to go down. Like, and then that part of my brain is like, what's going on? I need to control this. What's going on? Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. No,
Um,
and that's the hard part too. Yeah, when you have plans like, and it's not always plans do go through. It's good to have something to fall back on, but it's also good to be then just flexible in case like, well, shit, that's not going to work out today. You know?
yeah. No, there was one time I was doing a like a music video, but it was like a story driven one. And we recorded
Yeah.
everything. And I told him, cool, I think we're done for the day. And I was just going through like my Excel sheet. I'm like, oh, we forgot like this whole chunk of the story. Everyone come back. And I was like, ah, everyone's gonna be mad, right? We're gonna be here for another hour and a half. So yeah, I get that.
That too. But at least usually when that kind of shit happens, good to catch it on. It's much better to catch it like on the day when it's happening because then
Mhm.
everyone's already together. Then compared afterwards, you're like, damn, now I have to reorchestrate this entire shoot just to get this
Yeah.
chunk. That it's like trying to herd cats. It's not
Yeah.
it's easier said. Yeah.
The herd cats metaphor. I had someone, another guest on earlier where she's mentioned that like when she works with bands, that's pretty much what it is, just trying to organize people, especially creatives, right? They can do creative work,
Yeah.
but organizing is a whole different skill. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's why I think it's also good to work with the team when you can too, because in some projects there's a lot of stuff you can take on by yourself. But
Mhm.
really, I always feel like the results you get from working with like a team of people, they just outweigh like solo work, in my opinion. Because I feel like everyone gets to kind of play to their strengths, and yeah, like it's nice having somebody who can help get the talent arranged on set. Because when I'm trying to like, I don't know, I'm thinking about the light and the composition, and everything else. I'm like, the last thing I want to do is then have to like herd around some people that are drunk and stoned to like, you guys need to stand right here. Which I'm like, nothing's wrong with that. Like, do your thing, but like, again, it's nice just having that extra set of hands that be like, I need you to move these people because I got 8 other things I need to work on. But
Yeah, no, I get that. Kind of a segue into that. One thing I was just like, I guess admire about you, right, is like you do work with a lot of like cannabis brands and all that. Um, do you
yeah,
ever get like anxious or think like, oh, I'm working with this kind of content. There's gonna be someone out there like, oh, I can't associate with him. I can't work with him because that's the kind of crowd he's around.
I mean, I guess, but honestly, if that's the attitude of those people, then they're not my kind of client anyway.
Hmm.
So I'm not the. But I mean, I definitely that was especially when I first started like kind of dipping my toes in this field.
Hmm.
I really did think about that. I was like, there are going to be a lot of people who disagree with that, and maybe are like, just yeah, we'll probably have to stay away from that person. But
Hmm.
the more I've pushed into it, the more I've just kind of been like, I if that's the attitude of that person, I don't think we're going to have a very successful creative relationship anyway.
Hmm.
So good luck to them. That's it. I don't have anything bad to say when people are like, if they don't agree with that, that's just, I don't know. It just is what it is. I'm
Yeah.
not offended.
Yeah, no, for sure. 'Cause that was one thing I was like I've done a few shoots that have that like theme to it, but I was like, am I gonna lean too much into it? Is it gonna come back to bite me? Should I even care? I don't know. But when I saw you, like, oh, this guy doesn't even. He seems like he doesn't even care. Like he's totally confident about it. So that's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, I just, yeah, I don't know. I look, it's just another outlet of like to create. And I mean, yes, it is weed, but I guess I don't know. I just, we I don't know. I feel like when people if that's they're really caught up on that I'm shooting pictures of weed and edibles and whatnot, then so be it. I don't know. My mom's happy with it, so that's all that matters to me.
For sure, man. That's hella cool. Um, so you've been doing this for a while, right? I feel like you've really been at this. But
uh,
how'd you even get started?
so I mean, I've been doing video work since like I originally got started. My mom used to make my sister and I we'd have to go to like Sunday school and like church service all the time,
Hmm.
and I used to get really bored sitting there. So I was like, what can I do to not have to sit here and listen to somebody talk to me for the next hour of my life?
Hmm.
So I got involved with the media team. And then from there, I just started, I've been interested in doing video stuff ever since. Actually, I went to uh, Kutztown University in Pennsylvania. I graduated with, it was my degree in cinema, television, and media production. And then ever since then, this is now, yeah, my 4th year full time and doing creative business. So,
Yeah. Um, so you mentioned you're from the East Coast. What brought you to San Diego?
uh, so my girlfriend actually, she was doing grad school out here at USD. And I was like, hey, I mean, I can't think of a better place to try to get my feet wet in the video production world or just
Hmm.
like just getting paid to actually work with my camera in general, you know. Because before it was kind of I mean, and that's why I've always loved it. It was just like a passion of mine, but it wasn't necessarily like I wasn't seeing any money for it at first, you know. It just was
Yeah.
kind of something I just really enjoyed doing. But yeah, when she said she was coming out here to San Diego, I was like, yeah, you know what, let's give it a shot. So yeah, we packed up the car, and I think about like a month or so after we graduated, we
Oh, damn.
drove out from Pennsylvania, to California.
Oh, you drove? Damn. That's
Yeah,
a
that's cool. It was we made it fun though. So like we weren't just like we're gonna drive for 5 days straight, and not see the back of our eyelids for the next 70 so hours. But
yeah.
no, we stopped. Cool stuff. Like we went to was the St. Louis Zoo, which is free by the way. The most beautiful zoo I think I've been to besides like San Diego Zoo.
Mhm.
Pretty cool. We went to the Wizard of Oz Museum. We stopped at just random weird places along the way, just to kind of split it up. But it took us about I think like 7 or so days to get out here. But yeah, we just
Okay.
drove about like 6 each day and just kind of yeah made it fun.
Yeah. So how long have you been in San Diego now at this point? Or
Um, uh, so now I've been in San Diego since was it 2018? So yeah,
for sure.
was that? Yeah.
How much like with your school background, right? How much of that do you think you pull from for work now versus like how much you've kind of learned just from getting your feet wet out here?
Um, I mean, from a production standpoint, I definitely learned a lot from school. Uh, that was my only downside with school. Like, at least with the college I went to, it was either you're going to work in sports, you're going to work in news, or you're going to shoot weddings, which all
Mm,
three of those I was like,
no.
I think that there's a lot more that we can fucking shoot than those three things. But only thing I think that's just mainly what the professors, at least at our university, they all came from. So
Mhm.
I understand like where they're coming from, but to me, I just was like, yeah, there's like a bigger world of fucking video like out there that just seems very limited. So I definitely from a production standpoint, I pulled a lot from school, gave me a good base layer to build off of, I think. But in terms of like actually like marketing yourself and like turning it from a hobby into an actual like business that you can pay yourself a salary,
Mhm.
that I had to learn a lot on my own, a lot of trial and error, and a lot of YouTube University for sure.
Yeah. Um, and what are your like plans for it? Because like obviously you've been in San Diego now. It seems like things are working out for you. Do you plan on like continuing to stay here? Do you ever see yourself moving to like New York or LA like everybody else? Like how do you see your career take going?
I mean, I really do love San Diego because I still go to LA here and there for work.
Mhm.
But I mean, honestly, unless somebody is going to pay for my place to stay or give me a free apartment, I'm not going to LA. I don't really enjoy it. Like I'm not. It's just not. It's not my crowd necessarily.
Mhm.
I I like the option of being able to like it's like what like an hour or so drive from here, like maybe 2 hours, something like that. So I would rather just take the drive here and there than actually have to call that place my home. That's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have considered yeah, like if I did move back to the East Coast, I would probably have to be somewhere closer to like Pittsburgh or Philly or something like that to really like still consider doing this as a job and not just as like a side hustle.
Yeah. Do you do this full time or do you work for like a company doing like this to your other work? Or is this like how do you spend your time?
This yeah, full time. I have a few clients that I do like work for on like a regular basis.
Mhm.
So whether I have like I do have quite a bit of clients that are just editing only, so they send me their files and then I just put together their YouTube videos, TikToks, Reels, whatever they have that they need put together. That really I think blew up more during like once like we had like the original lockdown for
Mhm.
COVID because everyone was just like still wanted to do shit, but people didn't want to necessarily meet up. So I ended up actually getting quite a few of just like yeah remote
Oh,
editing clients, which is nice. Yeah, I mean really if I moved, I could still keep working with all those same clients because all I need is my computer and internet connection essentially. So
yeah. Do you you said you like doing video. Do you like to spend your time more doing like on the field recording or do you prefer like to sit down and just edit?
that right there, I yeah, I've had that question before too, and for me, it is a 51-49 split. But
For sure.
editing in the lead, I really, yeah, I love being in the field. It's, I love working with people and just, I don't know, that's not necessarily like I've done jobs where you're like working with your hands. I mean, we're still working with our hands out there in the field, but in a more like fun, artistic kind of way, you know. But
Mhm.
and then it's just that's why editing takes the lead, is because it's you get to sit there and put all these pieces together. I guess it's kind of like I don't know, like a puzzle you made yourself. It's kind of fun to see it come together. You know.
Yeah. Is there like elements you like to focus on or that are important to you when you are creating projects? Like maybe like you let like you're more into like the music where you like more of the effects and transitions you use where like do you have a preference for like what elements you care for?
I'm more like to focus on the like. Not granted, I do like having like the effects and stuff like that, but I feel like if you have a solid story, nothing just beats those like cut to the music kind of stuff, you know, where it's not like you don't need flashy transitions, shit whipping and panning all over the place. It's just sometimes just having those solid, like, just on the beat cuts with like beautiful looking clips that's making like a cohesive story. That to me is like, I guess I like that formula better than trying to slap 1,000 filters onto something. I like the I guess I like to go for the more like simplistic, like not necessarily like simple in the fact that I'm like it looks like shit, but like I want to like to have it having a beautiful, simple story come together just with like the music undertone.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, I feel like is a lot more. I don't know. I feel like it's more impactful in a way. It's not, and it's not like because I'm not trying to hide like shitty camera work or something with adding like that. That's why sometimes I feel like when I see a lot of like music videos and shit, I'm like, granted, yeah, like the effects are cool, but I think a lot of times it's just to cover up for the like half-ass kind of like production that goes into it.
Yeah. As because you do editing, right? Like for others. Um do you think like editing could save bad recording? Like if someone gives you something like, oh, I can save this, you're like, oh, I'll do what I can, but it's not my fault. Like, how do you?
Yeah, I mean, now not everything say like if we were talking about like something super out of focus, something's like super shaky while they're like trying to like hold the camera. I mean, there's some things that can't be saved. I'm always like, if you ever work with somebody who's like, oh, we can fix that in post, run the fuck away from
Yeah.
them. Run, stay away from those kind of people. It's granted, like, yeah, you can do some stuff in post, but like, we're not magicians, so like, if it's really bad in raw, I mean, there's only so much you can do with it in post. I feel like, and I do try to like kind of like, if clients send me something that's like really not usable, I do try to like at least convey that message of like where it's I'm gonna do what I can for it, but I can't like I don't know I can't pull a miracle out of here. You know, if it's not there, I can't do it.
Yeah. An old internship I did like years ago, my boss told me was you can either spend 2 minutes now or you could spend 10 or 15 minutes later. And that stuck with me. It could be like something simple, like if I'm doing a photo shoot, if you just lint roll someone's t-shirt, that will save you a
Yep,
lot of time just going just yeah.
exactly. No, and I 100% agree with that. That's especially when you're already on set too.
Mm-hmm.
Do it again. You're already there. It's like that's. I feel like a lot of people just are like, no, we got it. We're good. Like, no,
Yeah.
like, and that's why when I'm on set, I like to go back and I like to rewatch. I like to watch the stuff we're doing. Like, and because I need to see it. Because I'm not just. We're human. We make mistakes, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm very well aware of that. So, and it's fine to make a mistake. And then, because especially if you can find that mistake when you're on set, and you can correct it. Photo or video, it doesn't matter either one. It's you already have everyone there. You're there in that moment. Do it again. Take another shot. Because I think once you get back, then when you sit down and editing, you're gonna be like, I'm so happy I took that extra time to just redo that because it really it makes a big difference. The little things add up.
Yeah. How so yeah, like Zeke World, like your podcast, right? Um
Yeah.
is like that's a lot like a live show. So like what do you do if like you're recording like something happens? You just have to like, well, we just gotta roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, we just roll with it. And that's kind of also why I like doing like at least with Zeke's World. It's pretty like it's an open conversation. The only thing I do editing to is the like when I cut up like clips and like make reels and stuff like that.
Mm.
Otherwise, when I put up stuff to YouTube, it's the full raw thing. Like you get bathroom breaks and all. That's everything. I mean,
Oh, for
granted, we
sure.
do cut at the back, come back, but like still, I mean, it's like it's I don't know. It's I don't I'd if somebody has something to say or I'm like I'm not gonna like make somebody sit there for an hour long podcast and like trying to hold in pee. Like if you got to go to the bathroom, please go to the bathroom. Don't sit there and like torture yourself. But yeah, I like to keep it all in there. I just feel like it's just our conversation.
Yeah. What made you start the podcast?
Actually, it was with Chris and Priscilla. They approached me the one day and they're like, hey, if you are interested in like putting out a show, and they kind of
Oh,
helped me come up with my concept for it too. So I was like, and I love working with those guys. So I was like, hey, absolutely, I'm down for it. So we did the first episode, and I was like, I can definitely see the potential of just having this sidebar thing to, and it's just another way to then, like, I feel like really build connections with clients too.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, because I don't want people to feel like it's just like I'm just doing this for the business transaction. Like, all right, cool, you paid me, never talk to you again. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I like to actually like build relationships with people, and it's just cool to like actually get to know more about like the people you work with, and or just other artists in the area too. Like, and just to see how, like, exactly like what you're doing right here, like just to see how people operate, just to learn more about that person. So it's not some like, I don't know, there's not that mystery man behind the curtain, you know? It's just like
Yeah.
it's a person.
Yeah, like especially in San Diego, like there's a cool scene out here. Like, and everyone's the more you talk to, the more you learn how like everyone's connected in ways you didn't realize. But it's just cool to see like this photographer finally worked with this model. It's like, oh, cool. Look, that click or those clicks came together, and like this is really cool what they made, because you got everyone's different styles. Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot more fun than I think people
Yeah,
realize.
absolutely. Oh, that's why, yeah, I think it's everybody brings something different to the table. And we are in a pretty like competitive field, but not necessarily like, I just feel like everyone has their own style and taste to things. So
Yeah.
while it is competitive, it's I think there is more than enough work out here for, and more than enough opportunities for everybody to have something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's good though, because like obviously like there's always that comparison like San Diego versus LA, and LA is always gonna be like a certain bar just because there's just a lot of homegrown moving in talent versus San Diego. It's kind of like a maybe less of a pace of that. But
Yeah,
like I like Eric Martinez, Carter Martz. Like anytime he puts something
yeah,
out, I'm like, ah damn, like how did he come up with that? Now I have to try more, right? Just not even keep up, but just
yeah,
like as a creative, right? But you have other people like Chris Marcel, like same thing. The fact that I think I saw them do your podcast. I was like, oh, I want that quality. I want to try that. So I tried an episode with them. But it
yeah.
pushes people. Everyone's pushing each other, which I think is important, right?
Well, and I agree. I think it's healthy competition. It's just healthy to like, I think, to, yeah, like, and I same thing with like Eric Martinez's work. I'm like, I see him like, god damn, like he does some crazy stuff. But also at the same time, like that, I find him to be like very like inspiring on the shit too. Cause I'm like, it makes you like, it's I feel like it helps you to not be stagnant. And I think in our
Mm-hmm.
field, you need to constantly trying new things, and that's why I always appreciate his work. I feel like he's always adding something new, trying something new, and that kind of gets that creative fire under my ass to be like, I need to also push forward and try different, not like copy what he's doing, but like I need to like make my own way. Like I need to do something different.
Mm-hmm. Um, Speaking of kind of different hard left, so what's the deal with your like mushroom like graphics? I saw like the
And so you
sumo
see one of
mushroom
my,
the other day. Yeah.
oh, you see this little, that's one of my painted portraits. Actually, that came from lockdown too. That was like, there's like 3 months where there's nothing. Like I had
Mm.
no shoots, and I just was kind of, the first month, granted, was kind of nice. I was like, nice little vacation. I'm just like gonna eat some edibles, play video games, just hang
Mhm.
out. And then after that month, I was like, yeah, this is fucking terrible. I need to actually do something. So I was like, well, if I can't go shoot people, what can I do? So I just got bored one night, and I made one mushroom person, and I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. And I put it up, and it like got some feedback. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep making some more. I was like, I enjoy doing this, and yeah, now it's just kind of, I don't know. I try to put out like a new piece or two a week with that page, but yeah, it's something that's just kind of grown on me. I just started it for fun, and it kind of stuck around.
Yeah, because like I was like in your feed, it's just like lifestyle shot, content shot, product shot, something like sumo mushroom. Like what the that's different.
Yeah, it's my yeah. I not, and I have like a separate page for like my mushroom stuff too.
Mhm.
But really, I kind of like to have like a melting pot of like, this is just all the kind of shit I do, and like this is how I like to be creative. Like I don't necessarily need to be tied to like just one particular outlet. I have
Mhm.
multiple outlets that I like to do. I'm like, I'm not great at all of them. I just, you don't have to be good to enjoy doing something, you know? It just is, if you find a way to like, that you enjoy expressing yourself, I say fuck it, do it. You don't have to be good at it. You're gonna, anything you start at first, you're gonna be probably pretty shitty, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. But I think that just comes from like, you try it once, you might see like a something to it, but if you stick to it for at least like even 3 months, you'll start to see like, oh, there's a lot more to this I could pretty much be doing. That's gonna make me better, right? Versus where I started 3 months ago.
Yeah. Well, and that's, yeah, I feel like it's, yeah, if you put the time in, you'll see the growth. It's just, yeah, I mean, I feel like you can't just pick something up and expect to master it or just really be good at it in the first 5 minutes or even within the
Mm-hmm.
first month. Like, it takes a lot of time. Well, I think it was like 10,000 hours of doing something makes you like a master in it or some shit like
Yeah.
that. But and yeah, so like it's just it, you gotta. That's why you get to find something you really like doing. Because when I start like making these like pieces or when I'm editing video, my time melts away. Like it's just
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not sitting there counting the clock like I used to when I did fucking when I was like a bartender or when I did retail stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting there like, when the hell do I get off the clock? And then when I'm doing stuff like this, I'm like, I threw that fucking clock out the window. Like I'm not paying attention to it.
Yeah. There was I don't know how long ago it was, and I might be getting the real mixed up, but it's like I think you're just like in your house like sweeping. You're like, oh, I should be editing. What am I doing? Like something like that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. I get that.
That was the I did that one in honor of my girlfriend because I always like she'd be like, oh yeah, like I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do the dishes, and then I walk by my computer and then 6 hours of my life just melts away. I'm like, shit, I was supposed to be doing something else.
Yeah, no, for sure. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like I wanted to ask you like the whole thing I keep waiting is like, so who do you look up for inspiration? Like at this point in like your career, like, do you look at like certain artists or just certain works, both? Like, what do you pull reference from?
Um. Yeah. I was like in terms of like video style, I more like my favorite person is Cole Bennett, and he's a music video director as well. Like he runs Lyrical Lemonade. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's like he's probably one of my like not probably he's yeah he's definitely like one of my biggest like pieces of inspiration because while he puts out like really great quality stuff, he also like, I feel he mixes a lot of like humor into stuff, and he just has fun with his work, and it really shows. And it's something I've always appreciated. I'm just like it's you have fun watching his projects, and I think
Hmm.
basically like it's from a creative field like that's what we want people to enjoy and have fun while they're like viewing our stuff like just to take that like I just want to take like that few like minutes few seconds of their day and just hopefully it's like just entertain people, you know. But that's yeah, somebody I really look up to though is Cool Bennett, I would say.
Yeah, no, for sure. Um, so I am nearing time, so to wrap it up, kind
Yeah.
of in a good segue too. So for a new creative that's trying to like start out and like they know they want to do it, but they're not sure where to start, what's some advice you could give to them?
um you're not sure what you want to do. I mean, yeah, I think ideally, yeah, like, and if it helps to find somebody like an artist or some shit like that, you are like, wow, I really like what they do, and to maybe try to recreate that on your own, not necessarily like copy them, like copy and paste, but like, if I think just to try it out, and then you're gonna try a lot of stuff too, whether it's shit, maybe backtrack, my bad.
Hmm.
But what I want to really say, I guess, is to not be afraid to try and fail. It's okay to fail. You're gonna fail a bunch, like, and I still fail all the time at stuff. But I think really the important thing for people who are coming into this is to, if it's something you really like enjoy doing, keep trying. Don't, yeah, like try new shit. Like you never know what's gonna work, and especially when you're trying to kind of find your style and develop like who you are as an artist too. I think it's important to be open to all opportunities. Don't just be like only doing this, only doing that. Like be open, be because you never know what you learn from one thing, how it's going to then help you out with another project. Like, it's just things that you wouldn't think connect do connect. So don't be afraid to try shit out. And then they also at first too, I feel like, don't like, if you don't have a portfolio yet, be prepared to do some free work for people. That's just how it is. That's the name, and that's how I started off too. You have to, and you don't. It's hard to get. It's gonna be really hard for people to pay for your work if you don't have anything to back it up with. That's the other thing I would say. So, and it's not like you have to do free work forever. Like, you can pick projects you like doing, but I mean, yeah, that's something like you're trying to get into real estate stuff. Maybe try to hit up some real estate companies and say, hey, like, I would love to come shoot videos for you for free. And like, you see an artist you want to work with, hit them up. Say, hey, I want to do some photos. I want to shoot a video for you for free. Like, that's a good way to get your foot in the door, and then also to build up your portfolio. And then also, you don't know what will come from those relationships too. Because even some people I've done free work before getting started are now my clients that I work with. So it's just, you never know where it's going to lead you, but yeah, just be open. Be open.
I really like the line you said of things you don't realize connect. Like, I think that's always reaffirming itself in all my work I do. So that's hella cool, man.
Yeah, you just like, oh shit, like even stuff I did in bartending still relates to some stuff I do on my day-to-day like just basis of work. Like, it's just yeah, it really, and yeah, I think anything you get into, put yourself fully in it. Don't half-ass anything. If you're gonna be a bartender, be the best fucking bartender there is. Like, put your whole life foot into it. Don't be afraid.
For sure, man. I appreciate it. Where can people follow you? What are your ads? What are your pages?
So you can find me at Instagram. That's probably what I update the most often. And also I have like all my other links to my websites and stuff too off of Instagram. But it's just at Zeke Kitchen, Zeke, and then kitchen just like the room. And that was my real last name. People always ask me that as Zeke, because I feel like when I was doing like a lot of food photography stuff, people were like, "Oh yeah, Zeke's Kitchen." I'm like, nah. Actually, it worked out well. But yeah, that is my real name.
For sure. Well, hey, thanks for joining me today, and thanks for everyone that joined the call in. I'm gonna go and stop the recording, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.